Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are going to be looking at the European, GFS, and Canadian models, looking at the storm systems that they are all showing and comparing the three to discover if we're going to be seeing any winter weather threats or any severe weather threats in the upcoming couple of systems. Right now, it seems to be that we are in kind of a dry period. We're not seeing many storms other than in the southwest today. We're not seeing severe weather threats, winter weather. We're just seeing kind of a lull in all weather activities. But that will be going away. We will be seeing some weather returning. So let's get right on into it. So here's the European model. We're going to start off here. We have a disturbance down here that's going to be tracking into the Gulf of Mexico, through Florida and out to sea. This was that possible nor'easter. It's going to be way too far to the east and way too weak to do anything. So that moves off to sea. Next storm system moves onto the west coast, and we see this start to move into the plains. This low pressure is pretty far north, so we have a lot of warm, moist air getting pulled up, but it is all too warm to become snow. But we could see a severe threat from this starting even in areas of the Great Lakes region, and eventually we have this second low pressure that makes a kind of severe weather threat, not very strong, at least not as of now, from Texas into Michigan. Then we get another low pressure that forms down to the south. Now the European model has this weakening, but we could see some very heavy snowfall from this if it does decide to strengthen, as well as a severe weather threat on the back end. This one actually seems like the more interesting possible storm that we need to start to track, even though it looks very weak. But after that, this is where the model run ends. Let's go to the GFS. So the GFS is a little different. It still has that disturbance moving through into Florida. It does have that a little stronger, but not by much. After that, we have this west coast storm that moves onto the coastline, and we see that all move through. Again, this low pressure is a little bit further to the south, meaning that there could be some snow on the northern edge, just not enough to really get named. But after that, we have that little bit of a severe weather threat from the very northern tier of the country all the way down into areas of the Tornado Alley. But after that, low pressure in Kansas forms. We have some cold air behind it. We get a little bit of snow and some very heavy rain out in front of that, a severe weather threat to the south of that. Now that moves into the northeast, could be giving us a little bit of some snow in that area. But here is that system yet again that we were watching toward the end of the European model. Now the GFS has this forming with a little bit of disturbance in the Rockies, bringing in that cold and the snow. This might get named if it does happen, and a few model runs have been suggesting this. This is very heavy snow. Now, of course, this is probably wet snow in those areas, but overall, a pretty strong snowstorm that moves from the plains, kind of skips over parts of the Mississippi River Valley into the Great Lakes region and into the northeast. Could be dropping a decent amount of snow. Then the GFS follows that up with a little bit of a nor'easter, a little bit too warm for any of the coastal areas to see some major accumulations, but still a pretty decent storm there. And after that, maybe a couple of clippers. But overall, the GFS is showing a much more active pattern. So here's a Canadian model. The Canadian model is kind of accurate with the northern tier. So let's take a look. So it has that disturbance, even weaker than the European model. Then we have this next storm system that, again, is very far to the north and is mostly a rain event. Maybe some severe weather here from Oklahoma through Michigan. Then the next low pressure forms. That all moves into the northeast. Then we get this next system over here. This is the system that we were talking about. The Canadian model has this very weak, but it does lead up to probably another severe weather threat here in Texas up into Missouri. So we have three different perspectives, three different types of storms question of the day really is, which one do you think is right? But just overall, these are very low confidence right now. We've been seeing these models change every single model run. So right now, we're just looking into the future. We're probably going to be seeing a couple more winter weather events. A lot of severe weather starting to pop up on the scope here. But overall, it's kind of slowing down in terms of winter weather. But I think we still have a few shots at some snow. But what do you think? Comments in the comment section down below. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching.